What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for September 23rd, 2022. Don't mind the yellow glow. I don't know if it always looks this yellow when I'm recording or what, but I don't know. Maybe it's the fall weather. Maybe I got to invest in some new light bulbs. I don't know. But I think we've done it. I think since we covered the 64 Phillies on the Back to the Future pod, Phillies are now 2-0. So hopefully we reverse that slide. Let's keep it going. If you haven't done so already, don't be responsible for the Phillies losing. Go ahead and give the pod a listen anywhere you get your podcast, Back to the Future. The Phillies now are 2.5 games up still on the Brewers for that third wild card spot, which means essentially, like I said yesterday, a 3.5 game lead. The Padres lost. They're only a half game back of the Padres for that second wild card. I need to start looking at potential matchups and scenarios to see how we want to kind of root for that. We definitely don't necessarily want to play the Mets. But the Phillies have been pretty successful, I believe, this year so far against the Braves and the Cardinals, which were the two teams that are right there. So hopefully they can draw one of them, and we will kind of see what happens. But today we're going back to 1983, which happened to be a year we talked about before when the Phillies did go to the World Series. On this day, September 23rd, 1983, Phillies beat the Cardinals in Busch Stadium 6-2. That increased their first place lead over the Pirates to 3 games, which it was just at that point a formality before they would be clinching. However, this game was important because it also happened to be Steve Carlton's 300th win as a Major League pitcher. He started his career in St. Louis, ironically enough. That's where his 300th win came from. Played his first 7 years in St. Louis, won the World Series. I forget what year. It might have been 70 or 71. Then got traded to the Phillies in 1972. And this is, if you listen to the 64 Phillies pod, this was one of those other stories that my dad always made it a point to talk about, was the 72 team. That the Phillies were just so bad. They won 59 games. However, Steve Carlton went 27-10, which, think about those numbers for a second. The Phillies as a team won 59 games. Steve Carlton won 27 of them. So needless to say, he was the Cy Young winner that year, and just was a glimpse of things to come, because throughout the 70s and early 80s, he was just the most dominant pitcher in the National League, led the Phillies to all those division titles. I think they all said and done, they won 5. They won the World Series in 80. So on this day in 1983 was when he got his 300th win as a Major League pitcher. And the other story about Steve Carlton, his nickname was Lefty. And I remember growing up, my friend Rob, his dad had a dog named Lefty. It was the greatest dog ever. The dog always had a baseball in his mouth, but he was named after Steve Carlton. So that was always a pretty cool story about Rob's dad and that dog. So, well, hopefully the Phillies can keep this momentum going forward through the weekend. They got 3 more against the Braves. I'd like to see them, at this point, I'm going to get greedy. I want to see them win 2 of the next 3 at least, and hopefully increase that lead some so we can get some breathing room going into the final week and a half of the season. But make sure you follow me on Twitter and TikTok, Jimbo_Mont. Like the YouTube channel and subscribe so you can get any content updates that I may post. Next week, a new pod will come out, so make sure you're checking out Back to the Future at anywhere you get your podcast. Happy Friday. It's almost the weekend, people. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you when I see you.